Hi guys, welcome to Air Moon Heres. This is today's pick a card, a message from Spirit. And first we have Light Seers Tarot with the Selenite or Saturn Spa. We have the Crow Tarot with the Hematite, and we have the Wildwood Tarot with a Bloodstone. Take a little bit of time to choose your pile if you need to, and we'll get into the video. I should mention straight off the bat, I don't take reversals. I'm not very good at shuffling, so half of them have come out reversed. I'll take reversals if I feel called to. I don't feel called to for any of these. I'm getting a message straight off the bat for the Death and Rebirth card. It's like being able to see everything that the universe has to offer, and it's still not enough to help the situation. So there is no, like, that part was channeled. So my take on it is that there is no other choice, no other option, but to have whatever it is end. Whatever it is, it feels like it'll be really fluid. I think the ending itself will be quite fluid. You can play tug of war between the moon and the earth all you want. It's not going to change anything. If that doesn't mean anything to you, I feel like you could be spending time yo-yoing back and forth between the higher state of consciousness and the earthly planes in our lives that we live, you know, daily lives. Whatever it is, there's like prosperity here. For the Strength, she knows no bounds. No, that's not right. Her Strength knows no bounds. And if it was in another life, I don't know, if it was in another life, the lion would have killed the lamb because they eat meat, and she would have made it her meal, but she hasn't, and it's because she knows she can do better. The way that she does it is by staying really grounded. getting a message here about how many people do you need to pull down so that you can climb up over them to get whatever the perceived like prize is. Like how many people have to fall before you win. Is it a case that you tried to win and then you fell? Or is it a case that you were the person that fell when everybody else was trying to get ahead? And like they're looking down and they can see that you've fallen, but they're not stopping. She's stopping and she's hesitating, but she's not actually like climbing back down. She's just seeing that it's happened. So there's a witness to whatever has gone on, but they're passive. There's no action being taken by them. Only you fulfilling yourself can bring forth the magic that's needed to end whatever this is. I don't know if any of that makes sense. Hopefully it does to somebody. Hopefully it's fitting for your situation. If it's not, don't try to make it fit. I'll just leave it. I actually do wonder if this is not in a work environment, a business environment, hobby, craft, creating something, but it's like a person really refining their skills, fine-tuning whatever it is that they're doing. She's almost looking to the candle, like she's looking for guidance from intuition, which is really bizarre because the Pentacles I thought was like really earthly stuff, but it seems to be notable. It's worth mentioning that she's giving it so much attention that maybe she's finding it hard to keep a balance between the two. All right, what else have we got? Okay, it's time for an oracle. I just had two jump out on the ground. So we've got the perfection of your life and heaven sent. It's really weird. I feel like it's like a duality between like trying to keep up with the rat race in life and submitting, or not submitting, but like surrendering to spirit and the universe and all of that. I think the only thing that I can mention is just how important it is to be grounded. Taking some time to, I don't know, just spend time in nature, but like if you have a choice where, you know, you've got different scenes or different places you can go in nature, choose the one that really appeals to you more than anything, because that will be where you fall in love with it, and that'll be what will help really ground you into it. Obviously if you have no choice, some sort of nature is better than none, so whatever you can get. I feel like I'm still missing something here from the Five of Wands. This fire is like really significant, and I don't know if it's just as simple as trying to get ahead in terms of a career or anything. It's like much more important. Like it's actually almost life or death feelings that I get from this situation. So obviously I don't know what this is all playing out, so like take it with a grain of salt as you will. I don't think like it's literally life or death. Like you need to, I don't know, like this is a card reading, take from it what you will. I wouldn't take it too seriously. Loose advice at best. Do what you will with it. We're not here to like scare anybody or anything like that. I'm just saying what's coming through. I could point out on that note that it might not literally be life and death. It might actually just feel like it's life and death because it's that important. Or maybe there's that much pressure around whatever it is. The only thing that I can say is that for whatever reason, if we just take all the other people out of the picture, like all these people that are all competing and whatever, trying to get ahead, if we took them out of the picture and they disappeared, we would be climbing out of the darkness to the light. But it's not even that simple. It's like we're climbing out of our own darkness into our own like empowerment, if you will. Maybe what it is like there's a serious lack of empowerment within yourself, and maybe these people aren't even real people. Maybe they are. They definitely could be. Like there's obviously like many different people that this will be for. So you know, some people it could be real people, but then for others it's like this could be different thoughts in our minds, or like competing priorities, or competing opinions, or things that we tell ourselves. Whatever it is, it's like you just need to persevere here. And once you get there, then you can like fulfill yourself. I don't really know if there's much more here that I can add. So let's do a recap. So you're in a situation that there's no real way that it could improve or change or get better. The only thing that you can do is let the situation end. The weird prosperity coming in at the same time as like a yo-yoing between like ether and earth. Sometimes acknowledging that the strength that we have is just withholding from something, even if it seems like it is our true nature in that moment. Take it how you will. It doesn't really it's like just because the lion can kill the lamb doesn't mean it should. Perseverance, reaching your own goals despite other people, empowering ourselves to fill our cup, vice versa, so that we can create the magic that we want to see in our lives, to truly like end whatever this situation is. Whatever this is, feels like livelihood. Make sure you stay grounded. Know that regardless of how life has played out, you are how you're meant to be. Okay, that's everything that I can take from this reading for the moment. I will take a moment though to talk about the I don't know, satin spar, selenite, call it whatever. It's meant to be like a really clearing, cleansing type of crystal. Like I have a selenite bowl that I sit a lot of my smaller crystals into to keep them like clear. People also say it charges them as well. I also use like selenite during energy healing sessions to help clear people's auras or energy, and it can be really great for that. So maybe if you have selenite, you can use that to just wipe over your aura, however you will, help clear things away. If you don't have selenite or it's not an option for you, like there's many other things that you can do to try to help clear your energy, whether it's like meditation of some kind, or if you're near a beach and you can go for a swim in the salt water, have a saltwater bath at home, like using Epsom salts or something. That sort of makes sense, but because this card particular with the Five of Wands that I keep going back to, it does seem like it's pretty heavy, and it does seem like there's a lot of darkness around it. So that would be something like ample to look at. Anyway, guys, hopefully that resonates, and we'll see you in another video. Okay, group 2, so we had the hematite. I just want to mention with the hematite, it's like one of my favorite stones, and it always makes me think, I don't know why, it's like the weirdest thing, it just makes me think of like blood and the earth. And to elaborate on that, it's kind of like all humans and animals and plant life, we're all born of the earth, so it's really like we're dirt that, or soil that takes another form to become what we are. And at the end of our road, you know, we obviously break down and go back into the earth, but I just sort of see the cycles of like us, you know, the blood and the dirt. We are part of the earth, the blood is part of the earth. Take that however you will. I should mention, if you can sort of see this piece here, this hematite crystal, well, this crystal is also hematite. It's been quite weathered. So typically hematite would look like what's in my left hand, where it almost has like a chrome type finish sometimes, more of like that grey sort of color or metal color, whereas you can see that when water and different things have gotten to the hematite heart in my right hand, that it's almost brown underneath and it's almost rusting, but it's still really like solid and sturdy. So I don't know if it definitely is rusting, but it just has that appearance. So maybe you could say that you're feeling a little bit worn, but regardless of what it looks like on the outside, you know that it's still good. Still good. I'm sure many people can resonate with that. We're taking that, okay. Four, five. Alright. See how we go. If reversals come up, I don't take reversals unless I feel called to, so we'll just see what we get. So we've got the Ten of Pentacles, the Lovers, we got Eight of Wands, Five of Wands, the Empress. I feel like we're not going to look at this last card here until further in the reading. Let's see what we have. I know this pile is like coming from a place of abundance, where it's like, you know, needs more than met. You have, I don't want to say excess, because, you know, like humans could never have enough, but it looks like excess. You know, they seem to be really comfortable and like prospering, and they don't really need or want for much. They already have that. I don't know if there's something here where, like, you have found a partner, or if it's not a partner, some sort of love in your life, that I actually wonder, and it's not something I've experienced myself, but I do wonder if, like, I'm sure other people have, this partner, while you guys are, like, all encapsulated by the love and all the beautiful parts of the relationship, or, you know, whatever it is that you love about this thing so much, it seems to be like really equal give and take, and it seems to be reciprocal, has almost caused like some sort of spiritual awakening for you. Like, to me, that snake is like the Kundalini energy rising. So maybe something about this has caused the awakening. I feel like there's something not right about this, and it like feels like you're just having to dodge something. Like, typically I would think that the Eight of Wands is, I don't know, like, it could be like the whole throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks, but it's like nothing sticking, and but also like it's like a dual energy, where not only are you like trying to dodge whatever's coming at you, but you're also trying to, like, you know, find what works for you. So I don't know if you're in some sort of situation here that has turned on its head, or if it might not even be to do with like the lovers or the abundance or anything, like something else has come in really quickly. Yeah, having to dodge it and having to try to like find what works in this moment to almost get away or get out of it. I get the feeling that this here isn't like a real fight. It may look like a real fight, but it's not a real fight. It's like a, I don't want to say play pretend fight, but I wonder if it's just someone trying to like take you down a peg. And I don't know if they're trying when you've just come through a harder time, or you've been really preoccupied with whatever this is that's going on with the like dodging situations and trying to make the best out of it that you can. So like maybe they're coming at you when you're already in a, you know, a like more vulnerable place, or you've been preoccupied, so it's like easy to take someone down a peg when they're not paying attention. And if it's not that, I wonder if all that was just this like play pretend like, I don't know, fighting. Are they just trying to keep you engaged? Like, there's nothing here about the fight that's really cutthroat. They just want to keep your attention, and they want to get a reaction, which is not what I would normally think for this card. whatever it is, I feel like you handle yourself well anyway. Yeah, you handle yourself well. You're like coming out of the dark times into more abundance. It's like more confidence. It's like returning on your way back to the abundance, but the abundance that you had at the start was almost like really soft and really kind-natured. It's like when you're coming back into abundance after all this has gone on, it's like it's like you're staunch. It's like you've got more strength. It's like you're more agile, like you've got more wit. You've come out changed. So I do actually wonder if this Eight of Wands here is just like the adversity from that you've experienced, like with a relationship ending, or from one ending, or maybe this. It's just weird because it doesn't look like there's a breakup if it is like a relationship. It just looks like the person is more empowered. So it makes me question whether the other person in the relationship is just like fighting for your attention, trying to do what they can to like see what works. It's like there has to be some sort of resolve to get to this place. That, or you just like get to a point where you would rather be on your own because that's just hard work, even though it's weird. All right, let's see. I'll flip this other card and see if it can sort of tie some more of it together. I might see if I get any messages come through. Staying grounded will keep you calm. Weird message. Anything from your head to your belly that doesn't fit shouldn't be there. It's like Nine of Wands, like it's just it's that whole thing of like building a fence, building a defense. Maybe you're not too far away from like being completed, or not even being completed. Like you're not too far away from these clouds like leaving and the sun can fully come out. And you can see that the crow has lost a couple of feathers during this time. So, you know, it's obviously taken some hard work to get to this point. Judging from the way everything has played out, probably some pointless hurt as well. You can see that what she's paying attention to, not what she's paying attention to, you can see that what the Empress is embodying or has in the forefront is obviously like the love, and it's not empowerment, it's something else. It's just like being full of happy times is in love. But it's not all about love, there's so much more. Alright, I think it is time for an oracle card. Find the version of you that exists when no one is around. Spend time on your own, not out in public, not around friends, not being distracted, not doing anything. Just to take time to get to know yourself. Spirit is there with you. Spirit is watching. You might even find that there's so much more to you than you've ever thought. Like, you've underestimated yourself a lot. Death moves amongst us. You know, we watch all these, like at least the way that I grew up, little kids like watch all these movies that are like all fairy tales and happy endings, but you realize as an adult that it's not the case, and that it is quite normal. You know, this, like, death is just a part of life, and it does just play out however it does. But whether death is there or not, like, spirit is always with us. I don't know if that's a case of you're having somebody, like, I don't know, I want to say mediumship, like, I don't know if you experience that or someone around you does, or maybe you haven't before, but there's like, you're noticing things, or you feel a presence around you, because that's sort of the feeling that I get from this. It's like spending that time on your own, getting to know yourself, but that presence is there, or making itself known. Anything that you realize during this process doesn't have to mean that you should have done something differently a long time ago, or that there was anything wrong with the way that things have played out, or the actions that you've chosen to make. You can't do anything about what's already like come beforehand. It's really just about like what you can do now, and you've already done the work. Like, I don't know if it's a case of you have done the work, or it's a case that this is in the future, that, like, you know, maybe you're doing the work right now, but you'll have this realization at the end where it's like you're almost sad for yourself because you'd never given yourself that time, and you'd never looked at yourself in such a way where you were the important person that needed to be known, that you wanted to take time to get to know. But it's okay. You just have to have compassion for yourself, the way that you would for anybody else, the way that you would for a friend, because it's like the start of a new day. I want to say the death moves amongst us might even be like a version of the dark night of the soul. Take it, leave it, whatever. So a summary, it's like nice, soft, beautiful, good, prosperous times. And someone comes in, maybe causing that awakening. I'm just feeling really called to mention that the color of the snake with the kundalini is blue. And it's typically like representative of the throat chakra. Coming to this card, I feel like I can't quite speak. I don't know if it's that you can't speak. It might just be that you don't feel like you can express yourself authentically, like the way that you are and you would. Sometimes it can be like just being yourself, and like they're not even really looking at each other. They're just like resting their heads against each other, looking down at the heart. Like maybe you're just so much more focused on the relationship or the love or each other, well, not even each other, just like the love or being in the relationship, that or whatever the situation is, that you don't really actually see each other, regardless of whether you've had this like crazy spiritual experience with like that kundalini energy. it's almost just like they're just resting against each other. Like maybe it's just a good or a nice or a comfortable place to be. I don't know, I'm just getting something else that maybe there's not even any breakup, and maybe you don't even like leave this person. Maybe it's just that when you're not with them, you find it really hard without them. But when you're not with them, like that's, you know, we can spend so much time focusing on others that we don't spend that time focusing on ourselves. And when we don't do that, we don't really have as much of a chance for growth and development. Whereas if we're actually paying attention to ourselves, we can have a clearer vision or awareness of, you know, the things we do and how things play out, and our thoughts, our ideas, our patterns, our beliefs. We're aware of it so we can do something about it. It's like a feeling of being distracted, and I almost feel like I'm not quite really aware of everything going on here, because I'm looking for something else or something outside of myself. And I almost said it at the start, that this crow here looks like they're just looking at the flowers. Yeah. There's also something really hazy here with the Nine of Wands, where some of the pattern, it's like the energy is a little bit distorted. And it does up the top, it does look like clouds, but it also looks like it could be smoke or something. And it's like the smoke, it's hazy, like it's not clear. And I do wonder if this defense or fence or like whatever it is, you know, maybe you've had to put a wall up or become more guarded or whatever. It does feel like things are hazy. So I do wonder if we've not really had that great insight into ourselves or into the things that have happened or played out, because we haven't had that clarity. We haven't taken the time to look at ourselves. It's not even about looking at ourselves. Just be present with ourselves. Process things in a healthy way instead of like pouring our time and faces into screens and whatnot. I would like to say I'm not here to call you out. I feel like this is just as much a message for me as it is for anybody else that's actually resonating with this. So here we are, right? And it's really, really important for this pile to try to stay grounded. I don't know how many times, I feel like I just tell everybody that they need to be grounded all the time. Like there's so many different ways that life can play out, and there's so many different faces, so many different ways we can look at things. Like not everything is 2D. Sometimes things that look particularly flat or like there's not much more to it have some of the most depth there is, and we're just not privy to it. Okay guys, I think that is everything for this group, for group 2. I hope you guys got something out of it. I hope it resonated. Again, if it didn't, take it with a grain of salt or leave it, maybe choose another pile. Thank you for your time, and we'll see you in another video. Hey group 3, hope we're all doing well today. I'm sure we'll soon find out if we're not, or maybe we'll get a message that will help us. This is just like a message from spirit. We'll just see whatever comes through. I do have to warn you guys, this deck can be pretty deep. Sometimes the things that we don't really want to acknowledge, the energy is like very surreal, but that doesn't mean that that's what our message will be. Okay, that's what we want. I feel like you would still be learning a lot about life in this stage. It's almost like you're just young. You are fierce, you are ready, you are waiting. You're just ready to learn. Maybe you're pretty keen, have like a keen interest in something. I've got to say, I feel like the Three of Vessels Joy card here, in fact, doesn't look like that at all. There's 3 different cups, and it's like each bird is coming from a different place, and they're finding differences in between themselves. But if they could just get past whatever the differences are between themselves, from wherever they come from and however that's worked out, like whatever their life paths have been that have made them different, if they could put that aside, they would all get along really well. There is one here trying to like mediate or settle, maybe they're in the middle. So I'm not sure if you're the one in the middle or if, yeah, it feels like you are. Feels like you're witnessing this and trying to do what you can to help things along smoothly. There's something connecting these 2 cards with the Page of Stones links and the Three of Vessels Joy that I've missed. I'm getting like a dual message here that like I think that what I said would still apply originally, about being keen and ready for life and young and like agile and all, like, you know, all of that, like strong and quick and stuff. But I also feel like there could be a person that is ready, waiting, watching for some sort of fallout to happen here. Doesn't have to be a bad thing, but I feel like they're really sneaky. And if they are really sneaky, like why? We're going to clarify, and we're going to use a different deck. Let's see. Let's just push these up a little bit. Yeah, something definitely feels stuck here and we want to get it moving. Okay, what are we going to do? Let's go. Hopefully we can get these 3 in here. Let's move these back a bit more. Okay. Alright, it's not making sense to me, but I'm going to say it anyway. Hopefully it's all adding to everything so far. A balance between oneself for like that carefree nature of just going with the flow and sometimes not making the best decisions, maybe being a little bit impulsive, and the like very cutthroat responsibilities, taking responsibility. There's something about like having to be accountable here, and I don't know if it's that you are accountable or it's like you're almost so much in your head that you are making yourself feel accountable for things that like actually you shouldn't be, and they have nothing to do with you, and if someone was to be accountable for them, it wouldn't be you. And it's that like dual feelings. It's like maybe you have like really two distinct parts of your personality that sort of almost keep you trapped like in a loop in your mind where they're like competing, and you do feel like it sort of keeps you stuck. I don't know if it's a time and a place issue, but maybe like feeling torn between two different parts of yourself, when it's appropriate for what, without feeling like it's fake. I don't think any of it's fake. You might think that it is, but I or spirit doesn't think that it's fake. I think it's okay for you to be this way and leave the anguish about it behind, and just accept that sometimes you are really carefree and fun-loving and adventurous and all the rest of it, but you can also be that person that just snap back to business. It's okay to live like that, and it's okay for whatever this situation is. Yeah. So this is meant to help clarify, like, with whoever this person is that's like, you know, watching, waiting to see however this plays out. However these like three birds here, like, or the two birds fighting and one mediating, how it's all going to play out. So the other thing is that it's like maybe this is why this energy exists, because you feel like you need, you know, you don't want to have to protect yourself, and you don't want to have to be this like person that is guarded and is keeping an eye out for things or looking over your shoulder. You just want to be free and live life. And you know, like I have a personal rule of my own where I never cared for like laws and rules of society, but I always lived by my own rule that like, especially as I got older, that as long as not as I got older, when I was younger particularly, but as I've gotten older, I've settled down now, so it doesn't really matter anyway. But it's like I always lived to my own rules, as long as it didn't affect other people. As long as you have like an honest accountability, and you know, like it's a nuanced thing. Take it how you will. Doesn't give you permission to just like go be nasty to people and pretend like you didn't know what was happening or whatever. But rant aside, maybe that's how you normally are, and this person makes you feel like you need to be on guard and you need to be protecting yourself and keeping an eye out for things, for like what's happening and what's playing out around you, almost to a point where it's like, would it be better to just be on my own, or to not have to deal with this stuff? Yeah. Alright, we'll move on from that. whatever this is, if we can sort it out, that's like a blockage that's happening for you right now. If there's a way that this can resolve, you know, everything will be fine. Like it'll, you know, flow will come back, we'll move whatever this stuckness is. So it's just like this is keeping you stuck. Maybe this is like distracting you and keeping you stuck in this situation where somebody is, there's some sort of fight. Let's see if we can get something else. Taking your time will help the divine. Seeing through it, you'll never get to it. Not all things are as clear as they perceive. And I'm just sort of like, when I was holding that, trying to get a read on or a channeled message there for that card, I was almost like I was looking through like glass on a fish tank, and the water was like all murky and there was like algae everywhere and I couldn't see anything at all. So whatever this fight is or argument or this situation, it's caused because someone can't see clearly. And I've got to say, like, you obviously don't, like, it's, you know, juggling between these two energies, it would be hard to see clear, right? Because you're more worried about this than what's going on here. And what I wonder is that maybe it's not necessarily cause coming from a place of feeling like maybe you had clarity, maybe everything was fine and you're not like, it's not about like blame or who caused the argument or anything like that. But it could just be that lack of clarity now caused from this whole situation is the thing that, if you could get clarity, could help it end, help it subside. And like, you know, happiness comes floating right back in. I do just wonder if this is like a reading just for a young person. If you're not, there's something, maybe it's like one of the other people involved is quite young. All right. Let's see these top three. What way are we going to go? Okay. Let's just turn these all up now. Oh, wait. Whoever this is like really this, whoever the Lynx is really like opportunistic. They're in hiding, they're seeking out higher ground, they're trying to protect themselves. They're trying to stay undercover and unnoticed. Although I do feel like this Page of Vessels order card here is like the predecessor to the Page of Stones link. So it's like this person started out as the otter and turned into the lynx as time went by, where maybe here they were just trying to reach safety, being in a vulnerable place, like lots of emotions, lots of hurt, just hard to reach safe ground. And because of that, they've turned into this lynx where they are ready, waiting. Which that same message actually kind of resonates with, you know, that this is my nature, that I'm actually fun-loving and carefree and I'm not out there to get anybody. But then I feel like because of the way things have played out, I've actually had to really protect myself and really keep an eye out for what's around and, you know, who's around and what's happening. Yeah. I've got to say here, this Knight of Stones card, the horse, Normally to me a horse is like really steadfast, but this horse is not steadfast at all. They're like to me it looks like a baby horse, like a foal, or like, you know, the in-between stage, like not quite a baby, not quite a full-grown horse. There's that young energy, isn't it? It's like kind of clumsy and kind of easily startled, and I almost, the candle's just gone out. I almost feel like, what is it? Okay, whatever that was wasn't meant for us. Okay. Whatever it is, they don't need to do this. They don't need to go through this. And then obviously here are achieving balance, you know. So it seems that these cards link up, these cards link up, these cards link up. They're almost like the clarifiers that were pre-laid out or predetermined. Hopefully, between the 3 rows, we can make some sense of it. Still don't know who this other person is that's in the fight. So these are 2 different people. Maybe you are the horse and this is this other person that's, maybe it is you and this other person in the fight and somebody else is mediating. Like, take it how you will. It could be just another story for another person, or sorry, another message for another person. But it's like, you could be the young person and then you're like fighting with this other person. Encapsulating everything. Alright, what we're going to do for the moment is push some of these aside and see if we can get an oracle. Maybe the oracle will shed some light on how we can just wrap this up. Whatever the situation, that doesn't matter how we've got here. We just want to remove the blockage and get on with life, find balance. So it's just it's weird because I don't know if I want to, like, I do feel confused, but it's just like I'm looking at too many different things at once and I'm not like really paying attention to what's in front of me. But it's also like that whole being, oh there we go, we've got a card. Just being caught up in that energy. Love forgives distance. Maybe you just come at this situation with love, compassion, forgiveness. One of the best things that I've ever seen, even if it wasn't well received because the person on the receiving end was too immature to do anything good with it, is when 2 people were fighting and it was particularly below the belt, if you will, on both ends. Even if you weren't the person that started it, even if it was really uncalled for, and like I'm 100% all for standing up for yourself and not letting people walk all over you. Like, I think it would be silly to not stand up for yourself. But they just got so nasty with each other and they just like were just taking hits at each other constantly, like every chance they could. Anytime they were around each other, it's like it just couldn't be helped. But one of the people came to the other one and said, like, at this point, I'm just sorry for everything that's been said and the way that I've behaved. And it's like, you can hear my throat sort of getting a bit funny now, and I wonder if it's because this would actually be hard for you to say. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure it would be for anyone, for me as well. regardless of like everything that's gone on, there's nothing I can do to take this stuff back, or there's nothing I can really do to like have change anything that's played out so far. But what I can do is say sorry, and like you know, we can agree to just end this here and just move on with things. Like it's not going to get us anywhere by continuing this, but this like love forgives distance makes me think that the person might be important, whether it's that you come at them with love and forgiveness is how you end it, or it's that they are important to you and that's why you need to say something about it. You know your own situation best, so you know, use your own intuition, and like you always make your own decisions regardless of what like a reading says. So hopefully this resonates and actually makes sense, because I feel like it's still a really tricky situation of knowing what to do here. I don't think there's any real right or wrong action or outcome. The only thing I can think of is that it would be not great for anyone to stay in that situation where they allow it to continue to play out. So, yeah. What else are we getting? There's one more thing here. The last message that I'm getting is that with the love forgives distance, when you're able to end this situation and stop the fighting or whatever's going on, this energy here of like being yourself and carefree and enjoying life will come back, and then you don't have to worry so much about all of that. Something else here. This reunion here is just like that representation. Obviously the water's flowing, so whatever the stagnant energy is gone, it's unblocked, water's flowing, they're together again. And if you can see, there looks like a couple of like little otters together, many cups floating. It's sort of like fulfillment coming back in all forms. All right, guys. Yeah, hopefully it resonated. Hopefully you got something from it. Let me know how you felt about this one. I'm particularly curious. And we'll see you in another video. Thanks. For anyone that has stayed at this point, or to check out the end of the video, or just from remnants from group 3, I should sort of talk a little bit about myself. So I do receive channeled messages, I do read the cards as anyone would. I don't generally take reversals unless I feel called to. Hopefully you guys enjoy it, and we'll see you soon with another one.